Today we are talking about saving money on your grocery bill and how to affordably eat. A lot of people are saying they cannot afford groceries right now, and groceries are too expensive, and there's just no way they can afford groceries. So we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to save money on your grocery bill and help you get started, because actually inflation has nothing to do with it. It has to do with how you spend your money and what you buy. All right. Number one, if you want to eat affordably, you are going to have to buy affordable foods. Wow. Was that not just a momentous statement? Deep, thought-provoking. Listen, you are not going to be able to buy the juice boxes. You're not going to be able to buy the fruit trays. You're not going to be able to buy the vegetable trays. You're not going to be able to buy boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You're not going to be able to buy steak. You are going to have to find meat and find foods that are on sale that you are able to afford. So I'm going to give you some alternatives here. Let's say you want boneless, skinless chicken breasts. What can you use instead? Leg quarters, 39 cents. We have people across the country telling us they find them for 39 cents all the time. 39 cents to 99 cents a pound for chicken leg quarters. Yes, that is still an excellent deal. And if you want to know if bone-in chicken is cheaper than boneless, skinless chicken breasts, half the weight is bones. Okay, so if it's 99 cents a pound and you can find chicken for $2 a pound or less, then it's the same price. But if chicken is $3 to $4, if boneless, skinless chicken is $3 to $4 a pound, boneless is still way cheaper.
Now, the way I calculate it might be a little bit different in the fact that I can stretch the bone-in chicken a little for more meals, because I take the bones and boil it and make chicken noodle soup and things like that, where with the boneless, skinless chicken, I can't do that. So I sometimes do my meat, not so much the price, but how many meals can I get for that price? Does that make sense?
Yep. And the next thing, what do you do if you are buying fruits and vegetables? This is another big one. First of all, stop buying the pre-cut fruits and vegetables. First of all, they're not as fresh, so they're not going to last as long. But it really only takes 5 minutes to slice up some carrots, cut up some celery, cut up some broccoli, and throw some ranch dressing in a bowl, and you've got a vegetable tray. The same thing with a fruit bowl. We had we had a very interesting get together on Memorial Day.
It was fun.
It was tons of fun. It was just
different.
The way it ended up was very funny. And my friend, she took and got some grapes, and she got some green and red grapes, and cut up some strawberries, and she had a great big bowl that she cut up herself and brought that for fruit. Now, you don't have to have expensive things like fruits and vegetables. When you have a get-together, it doesn't have to be the entire meal. You could just roast marshmallows. You don't even have to do s'mores. You don't even have to have food. So if you're having problems buying groceries, then some of these things are going to have to be cut out. Now, the drinks.
Well, can I say something on the fruits and vegetables? If you do have fruits and vegetables, you don't need to do things like with cauliflower, broccoli, avocados, the more expensive fruits and vegetables. Carrots, and those types of things that are less expensive, use those types of vegetables. Apples is a little bit less expensive fruit, sometimes bananas, over some other types of fruits like kiwi, mangoes,
strawberries,
and strawberries, blueberries, those types of things. So you can change it over. If you do want to have fruit, just have the less expensive type things. So
the next thing is drinks. Listen, there are people that are spending 30% of their grocery bill just on drinks. The Gatorades, the sodas, the milk, the juice boxes, the flavored packet, the teas, the coffee, all of the creamers, all the sugar, everything that goes with it. 30, I would even say 40% of a lot of people, a good portion of people's grocery bills is just going to drinks. Booze alone, if you just cut out the booze, that would be a huge savings in your grocery bill. So what can you do instead of that? Drink water. You know, if you have a freezer, most people do, put ice in your water. That makes it taste better. You can let it sit in your refrigerator for 24 hours, and then that makes it taste better. Also, the chlorine evaporates. Most people don't need to let it sit in the refrigerator now, though, because pretty much every refrigerator now with a dispenser has a water filter. So all that's filtered out. So you don't need to do that. But if you don't have a water dispenser, like we don't have a water dispenser in ours, and you don't like the taste, then just let it sit in your refrigerator with the cap off or in a jug for 24 hours, and that will evaporate.
Well, and also if you really want to have a drink, there's nothing wrong with serving iced tea that you make yourself. You don't need to go buy iced tea in the jugs at the grocery store. You can just make your own with some tea bags, and it doesn't cost hardly anything to, make iced tea. Or you can do packets of Kool-Aid, make up Kool-Aid. It's less expensive than pop usually to do that. I mean, and use your imagination. This doesn't have to be boring or blah. Make sure when you make the Kool-Aid, it's good Kool-Aid. I used to get people asking me for my recipe for my Kool-Aid. But what happens is a lot of time people make the Kool-Aid up and they make it too watery. It says 2 quarts on the package, on the little packages, to do 2 quarts of water. I only put like 1.5 quarts of water because it makes it a little stronger. And then that way, if you even add ice cubes, it won't water it down. It won't have that watered down flavor. Plus, I will grab 2 packets of different types of Kool-Aid. You don't need to have nothing but strawberry Kool-Aid. If you use a package of, say, cherry Kool-Aid and strawberry Kool-Aid and put them together, it really adds a nice flavor. It's more like a punch-like taste, which kicks it up a notch. So these things that don't cost money, if you just learn how to cook them or make them right, and they're so simple to make. We even in the book, we have iced tea recipe in the book. We have it on the website, I think, and we have a video that tells you how to make iced tea.
How to make sweet tea. Not
sweet,
just iced tea.
Yeah, not iced tea, sweetened tea, and that's what I've always made. And so, it's just very simple to do this, and you don't have to have the pop with the cooler and all the, stuff that goes with it. And don't buy ice for your cooler. Take and make ice up several days ahead of time. You can just make up your own bags of ice and keep it in the freezer, ahead of time.
Unless you're like me and you don't have a freezer at the moment that you can do that in. But yes. Okay. The next thing is, what about chips and snacks like that? Stop buying potato chips. Stop buying the prepackaged potato chips. My goodness. And limit the amount of chips. So we get 1 package of chips about a week, give or take 10 days, somewhere around there. That's all they get. Once it's gone, I don't go buy anymore. I never have purchased the little pre-packaged things of chips. What I do instead is make muffins or cookies or homemade granola bars. I do buy granola bars just because they cost almost the same as making cookies. And guys, granola bars are just a cookie. Don't sit here and tell me there's nothing special about a granola bar. There's nothing special about a granola bar. It's just a glorified cookie in a rectangle shape instead of a circle. How people fell for that, I don't know. But if you need a good granola bar recipe, though, our Dining on a Dime Cookbook, Volume 1, 25% off right now, and also our website, livingonadime.com, is the place to get that. They are the best granola bars, and it's a good way to use up leftover cereal. So that's the next thing. What do you do for breakfasts? Yeah?
Oh, I'll go ahead and go to the next thing.
You can.
Well, I was just going to say, also, when you're making the cookies and things like that, we've got a lot of recipes in Volume 1 that uses very inexpensive ingredients. For example, if you don't make cookies that take a lot of nuts, a lot of, like chocolate chips, coconut, all these special things, a good old peanut butter cookie is really yummy, or just a Rice Krispie treat. They're easy to make and they're yummy. We got them in the book, but it doesn't take expensive ingredients. So start watching the ingredients that you're using in some of this stuff, and you can cut back that way too.
Okay. I forgot what my next tip was.
Sorry.
Shoot, I just had it on the tip of my
Breakfast.
head. Oh yeah, breakfast. Thank you. Breakfast. So first of all, stop getting expensive cereals. There's nothing wrong with having cereal for breakfast, but don't buy the name brand Cheerios. I know, no comments from the peanut gallery in the background here, but if you can't afford $5 a box for regular Cheerios, don't buy it. I don't care what they prefer. My family prefers the name brand Cheerios. That's one of about 3 things that they really like the name brand. But if it's not on sale, I don't buy it. We just don't eat it because I refuse to pay $5 a box for Cheerios. So get off-brand cereals. But the other thing is make oatmeal, make cream of wheat, make cream of rice, make rice cereal in here. It's just rice and milk and cinnamon and sugar, and it's a butter if you want, and it's really super good. So you don't have to have expensive breakfasts either, and it doesn't have to be time consuming like pancakes and waffles, which really aren't that time consuming anyway. But if you need more time in the morning, then you can go ahead. Yeah, Kimberly says grits. Grits are very good. Mike's from Texas, so he's a big grit guy. And you can eat something that's quicker. Most of these things you can make in the microwave. You don't even have to get a pan dirty. You can just make it straight off the stove, or I mean straight off the bowl. Okay, put your comments and questions, guys, in the description below or the comment section, and we will answer your comments. Then the other thing is, Debbie says eggs, yogurt, and fruit. Yeah, you can do that for breakfast. Yogurt's pretty expensive unless you make your own, which we have a recipe right here, Dining on a Dime Volume 1. But the little yogurt things, those are real pretty expensive, especially the little packets. And fruit, depending on which fruit you get, I mean, if it's apples and oranges, bananas, those are pretty cheap. But if you're going with strawberries and blueberries, that's not cheap. So you may just have to cut back on those things and not eat them.
Because oranges and apples and bananas, they're healthy. People think only berries are healthy fruit anymore, or only, something like kiwi or something is the healthy fruit. All this other fruit that's not expensive is just as healthy as those things. So you don't have to just, we've been kind of brainwashed into thinking only berries or something like that is a healthy fruit. And that's not true. There are a lot of things that are really good and healthy for you that aren't expensive.
All right. Send me the comments, questions, dear. Okay. Next tip is stop making elaborate meals. You do not have to have a 15-course dinner every time you eat. You do not have to have meat every time you eat, despite what some people say. You can have, a chili with beans instead of hamburger. You can have casseroles where you use beans instead of hamburger. Yes, beans, despite what my mother says, beans are a very legitimate, cheap food. They are legitimate, so don't listen to her. But you don't have to eat just beans, though. Buy your meat on sale. I pretty much do not buy any meat that isn't on sale. It is only on sale. All the meat in my freezer, I got chicken for $1.49 a pound. I have pork in there for 99 cents to $1.29 a pound, I think is what it was. I've got bacon for around $2 a pound in my freezer. I've got roasts for $3 a pound. I've got steak for $4 a pound. So you can get meat that is cheap, but it doesn't have to be eating the same thing over and over and over again. It just really doesn't, guys. That's why you need our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, 25% off right now. The red one is Volume 1. Volume 2 is the blue one. They go together, but they're different recipes and you can use them separately. It's just fine. And then our gluten-free, dairy-free edition, if you're gluten-free, dairy-free. And then guys, we also have our planners. They are not on sale, but 400-page, 365-day undated planners. So you can start right now if you want. Did you have something you want to say?
Well, also, you don't always have, like if you're going to have hamburgers, you don't always have to have hamburgers in a bun. You could just have a hamburger patty, and then you'd save the money on not buying the hamburger buns if you don't happen to have them and they're a little bit more, expensive. And you could put it in bread also. If you've got bread, we used to eat hamburgers in bread all the time because we just didn't get buns. Mm-hmm. So think out of the box and don't just get locked into habits that you're used to always. This is the way you have to eat something. This is the way you have to do something. And as far as meat goes, have a day a week, 1 or 2 days a week where you don't even have meat for dinner. There's lots of things. Know your nutrients and realize that you can get protein in milk, in cheese, and things like that. So know where you can get protein other than the expensive meat.
Yep. Okay, let's get to your comments and questions here. Desert Lady says this is her first live. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Welcome.
Colleen's Essential Life says we'll have to catch the replay. My daughter has charter graduation tonight. Well, there you go. Good job. Yeah, we had lots of graduations. Mm-hmm. I don't have any graduating this year after having 4 graduate in 4 years. So I'm done now. So I'm good with that. Susan, my hubby and I just don't like dark meat. Well, you got to stop being so persnickety. Listen, here's the thing. You need to learn how to cook it so it tastes good. Our honey baked chicken, our maple glazed chicken, our roast chicken in our cookbooks, those are all really good recipes to use for dark meat.
And if you take dark meat and cook it in a casserole or cook it in like a soup or something like that, you really can't tell much difference in the flavor. The only thing about dark meat is it has much more flavor than just like a chicken breast, and it's usually juicier. And
Fluffy Artist says binge on sale prices. Yes, that's what I do. I try not to buy. I mean, I say almost anything on sale, but the thing is, here in my town, Walmart is the cheapest for my sale prices. So my grocery stores, if they go on sale cheaper, then I'll get them. But they usually don't for canned goods and stuff like that. They usually don't beat Walmart. Occasionally, once or twice a year, they do. But that's where I get most of my sale prices. Tanya, the price of eggs is going down. I got eggs at my local store, 4 for $3. That's 75 cents a dozen. Wow. Last time she saw that price was 2021. I haven't seen that price in probably 4 years. That's great. 4 or 5 years. Maria, I don't know why people are so opposed to chicken thighs. They are cheap and have more flavor. Yep.
Yeah, they do have more flavor.
Wanda, 30 years ago, I could get chicken leg quarters for 49 cents a pound, but no longer around here in Oregon. It's on sale time, sometimes for 98 cents a pound. Hey, that's Oregon. Some of this stuff is where you live. California, the prices are going to be higher. Alaska, Oregon, that's what happens when you live in places that.
But you also can maybe sometimes get things a little bit cheaper than what we could get, so
like
even
fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah,
and stuff,
so it kind of balances out. If you can't get one thing very cheap, you can maybe get something else
or
cheaper.
Your groceries may be higher, but your utilities are a lot less because you don't have to use heat and air conditioning.
We've lived so many places that we found out that everything just kind of balances out. So
I would say the exception would be maybe New York City. But even with that, your salaries are so much higher in New York City that it may not be as good as someplace else, but you still get paid much higher wages in places like that. So
and the only reason we're saying that too is I'm not talking to you particular, but sometimes people will say, well, where I live, it's too expensive, so I can't save on groceries. And I don't want you to use that as an excuse for not saving in general. People sometimes think, well, I just can't get this here, or this is too expensive where I live. I can't save money where I live because it's too expensive. And like I said, I'm not talking necessarily about you, but that just brought to mind a lot of people do use those things as excuses for not saving. That's why I say it balances out so you can save no matter where you're at.
Debbie, hi ladies. I wish I liked chicken because it is much cheaper than beef, but I'm like Jill with beans. Well, just eat some pork then. Pork's almost as cheap as chicken. So just do Just do pork then.
Mhm.
Nina, hi everyone. Looking forward to learning what you are going to speak on today. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. Shirley, Kroger stores in my areas have chicken leg quarters for 45 cents a pound this week. Very good.
Wow, that's good.
My nemesis is Costco is getting pricey too. Costco has always been pricey.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe their rotisserie chicken is worth it. And I found maybe 2 or 3 things that are actually cheaper. Trash bags were cheaper there. Laundry detergent, toilet paper were cheaper there. But as far as food, I did not find any food except for the rotisserie chicken that was cheaper at Costco. So,
and you have to be really careful with these warehouse places like that, because you go in there to get the stuff that's a little bit cheaper on sale, and you tend to see, oh, well, that looks good, or I could use that, or you sample things and you buy more than you would have bought if you just gone to get the sale items at the grocery store. So you got to be really careful going to Costco and places
it doesn't
like
save
that.
money.
Yeah.
Mindy, 12-pack of soda at Shaw's is $8.99 to $9.99. I have haven't bought soda in a long time. So I just bought 20 cases of soda this weekend. As I'm telling you to not buy drinks, but it was $8.99 for 2 buy 2 get 3 free. So it was $3.30 or $3.50, I can't remember, a case, which is now my new cheapest price. I have not seen the $2.50 for a year now. So that's my new stock up price. So I got enough, and that will probably last us at least through the summer to Thanksgiving somewhere. I mean, at least to Labor Day, Thanksgiving, somewhere around there. So, because we don't let the boys just go in and drink all the soda they want. We save it for special occasions and just now and then. Wanda, I found out that you need to test the grapes. Yes. Emery Shea, I spent more than I normally do, but I got some great deals on meat for the freezer, which will last us a while. Buy things when they are the best price. Yep. Just like we've been saying for years, she said. I know. Debbie says they make their iced tea. Ohio says Kool-Aid with a little salt is pretty much the same as Gatorade. Yes, it is. You can just put your own electrolytes in Kool-Aid and you have Gatorade. You can get a bottle of electrolytes for like $20, and it's got 200 servings in it, and you can make a big bottle of Gatorade.
Do we have the recipe in volume 1? We've got Gatorade, I think,
on the website.
On the website.
On the website.
It's on the website.
Sandy got a new baby smoker, but missing the cord and need wires. Recommend he fix it, and smoked chicken this weekend for many meals. Very good. He cut his finger and had to have 3 stitches. Oh, that's not saving money. Sorry. That's something
I shouldn't
would
laugh,
do.
but I'm just cringing at the.
As I got my paint sprayer for $5, and then I spent 45 minutes setting up to spray my fence, and it didn't work. I was like, seriously. I was not a happy camper. Barbara, she does Instacart and Spark, shop and deliver. I was shocked at how much people spend on drinks and junks. Sometimes drinks are 90% of an order that fills a whole cart. I know.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's all the time. I go into Walmart, and I'm not exaggerating when I say 80 to 90% of the basket is just drinks. Now, I totally get they may be going and go to the beach or having a party or something, but even for a party, we had a Memorial Day party this weekend. I didn't get soda. I'm not spending that much on soda for a ton of people. So I just made up some tea and some Kool-Aid and some water. Now, someone did end up bringing soda, which was very nice. But, that's a lot of money, especially in the cans. And Jeanette, exactly, Jill. I've been making my sweet tea a lot lately, using decaffeinated tea along with fruity flavored tea bags, a gallon at a time. Yep, that's what I do. Lynn says I make kombucha. Sorry, a gallon every 10 days for years. It costs 8 tea bags and 1 cup of sugar. Yes. Sandy, I haven't had Dr. Pepper in months. I'm on sweet tea, water, and coffee. There you go.
If you like the fruit flavored iced tea, what I would do with it is, to save a little bit of money, was I would use 2 regular tea bags, Lipton tea bags, because they're the cheapest, And then I would use just one of the fruit flavored. That way I got the fruit flavor, but I didn't have quite the expense of using the more expensive fruit flavored tea. I could use some of the Lipton.
You can also put a pack of Kool-Aid in there if you want.
Yeah, you can.
You can also get the flavoring, the little flavoring things, and put that in there. So there's all kinds of ways that you can do that. Also, livingonadime.com, we have tons of tea recipes, guys.
Oh, yeah.
We have a whole post just dedicated to teas. Jennifer, hello.
Hi, Jennifer.
I made a fruit salad for barbecue. I got watermelon, cantaloupe, grapes, and berries. Cut the watermelon in half, quarter it, and then use the brine as a bowl. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So cute.
Good.
Wanda, years ago, I spent half my grocery money on soft drinks. I don't do that anymore. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda says, in Alabama, we love our sweet tea.
I know.
Mandy, I love Wednesdays because it means while I work around my house, I get to listen to my friends and learn new things. I sure appreciate you, and someday I'll get to hug you in heaven. Well, thank you, Mandy.
I know. I keep saying it's going to be so exciting to see everybody when we get to heaven. Can't you? I mean,
be interesting.
Can you just imagine what that's going to be like?
Yeah. Fluffy Otter. OMG, peanut butter cookies. She must love them. Jennifer says, the more you drink ice water, the more it goes with everything. Plus, you save money on calories by sticking with water and on dental work. Yes.
And, that's another way to save. She was talking about calories. I think probably, 80% of the people in the world or whatever, I mean, in the United States, I shouldn't say the world, in the United States, if you just cut back on the amount of food that you eat, you will save huge amounts of money. I think part of our problem is we just eat too much food. And just cut back a little bit on the food, and that would save on your grocery bill really easily there,
Well, it's funny because we're doing our kitchen remodel right now, which is almost done. Are we 97% there yet, dear? Or are we still at 95%?
Probably 97.
Are we at 97?
Seems like less, but
and we have not gone out to eat once because of the kitchen remodel. Now, Mike and I have gone on our taco dates, but we have not. I don't just go pick up Wendy's because I don't feel like cooking in my temporary kitchen. I have just made food, or we've just had macaroni and cheese, or we just had cereal or pancakes or whatever. So I didn't let a kitchen remodel be an excuse for not cooking. If I didn't have my downstairs semi kitchen, then I would be set up in my laundry room or my bathroom, and I would just be using the hot plate and washing the dishes in the bathtub or the sink. So the big thing is you've got to stop making excuses for all this stuff. You're bringing the stress on yourself, and you're making your life more stressed by putting on more debt, and then you have to work more, and then you're tired more, and then you buy more stuff buy more food because you're stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So
when she mentioned the peanut butter cookies, I was going to say too, one way to save is you're going to probably be going to a lot of, we got 4th of July, we just got over Memorial Day, you're going to be going to picnics, barbecues, church functions that you bring potluck, and end of school functions where you have to bring maybe potluck for different things. And one thing when you go to these potlucks, that'll help you save a little bit on money. If you got the money, then you don't need to do this. I'm just talking about somebody like my situation was, I barely had enough to feed us. And to go to a potluck, I could not afford to take a dessert or a dish, some kind of a dish that had very expensive ingredients in it. One time, she was so stressed out, she was sobbing. This was years ago, and talking to me, she was just so upset. She didn't know what she was going to do because she was exhausted from working longer hours trying to pay for their debt. They just bought a very fancy brand new pickup. And then about a month later, they bought an RV that was tens of thousands of dollars. This was a monster, huge thing for them to take camping like 3 to 4 times a summer. And they were just spending the money and so deep in debt. And she said, I don't know how to save or where we're going to save or what we're going to do. Well, it was about a week later, she was going to a church function and she brought this dessert, and I knew the recipe, and I was adding up in my mind. She was so worried about where can I save money? I don't know where I can save money, but she'd brought this dessert that was at least $15 for just a 9 by 13 pan to take to the potluck. And if you got the money, do take it. You know, if you can, take nice things like that, because that could be a ministry. I don't think people realize sometimes if you have the money to take something nice, because I'm telling you this first before I end the rest of the story, because I remember we would go and I would take something, you know, to the potluck, but there was stuff I hadn't eaten in a long time, you know, special foods that were just too expensive. I couldn't buy them. And somebody would bring a dish that had this special stuff in it. And I would always remember standing there taking a helping of it, thinking, thank you, God, for allowing this person to be so generous to bring this delicious dish so I could have a little taste of something I hadn't eaten in ages. And it was such a pleasure to me to have that food. So you got the one side where if you can minister and give to others, to take something like that. But I was in the condition where I barely had enough to feed us. So what I brought was a huge plate of peanut butter cookies. Use recipes like Rice Krispies or peanut butter cookies because they don't have a lot of expensive ingredients. And you know what? Everybody loves them. My plate would always be emptied. It's like they have fond memories of eating peanut butter cookies. So there's no shame in bringing something like that. And if you can't afford it, you know, do that. And this gal, it didn't even dawn on her to not bring something quite so expensive. Sometimes we are a little bit prideful and embarrassed to have to take something that's not quite so expensive, and don't feel like that, you know.
Homestead Chili says, I make cookies and freeze the dough. Then I only bake a few at a time. I don't feel like I have to eat them all before I go to bed. Yep.
Yes, that's a really good idea.
Or before they go bad, not before she goes to bed. Sorry.
It's the glasses that Tara's having trouble with still.
Actually, I was trying to decide if I should switch back to my old glasses. My goodness. Ashley, I have my work, breakfast, and lunch down. Yeah, just get 2 or 3 things for breakfast or lunch.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. And then always have those ingredients on hand. Sandy, hubby has a bad sweet tooth. I started making small batches of apple crisp and pound cake. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie, my kids love cinnamon and sugar toast. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Jen says, I just ate a bowl of no-name Raisin Bran for supper. I love it. It's yummy. Can you see the next one's, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Debbie says, in defense of her yogurt, she uses coupons.
That's good. And I noticed this week they've got yogurt on sale for 29 cents at one of our grocery stores. So I'll give you
that if you got coupons to go with it.
Yeah.
Amanda, instead of expensive ice cream bars, freeze bananas, a popsicle stick. Yes. And we also have
a ton
on the website, livingonadime.com, and in our first edition, chocolate covered bananas in here with tons of variety.
And easy popsicles to make, different creamsicles, like, you know, fudgesicles and stuff is in there.
Which most people don't even make now, but they are so much cheaper.
Yeah, and they're not that hard to make.
Melinda says, I love the white rice instead of cereal. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Lori says, would you recommend organic berries over regular? No. Stop wasting your money on organic food. It's a waste.
Yeah.
Rebecca.
They've proven it over and over again that there's no difference.
Shoot, make your own scrambled egg cups and a muffin instead of hitting Starbucks. Mm-hmm. Yes, we take jelly jars and make individual servings. Overnight oats, can grab and go. Yep.
Yeah. Keep back breakfast burritos or English muffins where you can just, you know, put something on top of them in the freezer and that type of thing. So.
Yeah, and like today, I went to the Restore to pick up a chest that we got for Mom. And while I was there, they had some canning jars, and I'd been looking for some of the short squatty ones, and at the thrift store they had some. Well, I think it was yesterday's video, and I didn't know how much they were, but I thought they were cheaper than they were going to be. They were $4 for 10 of them or something, and I wasn't really going to pay more than a quarter. Guess what? I went to the Restore and they had all these short squatty with the lids and some big wide mouth jars for a quarter. So I bought them all.
I'm sick. I have a whole bunch at home that I would have given you.
Well, I know, but
I forgot.
I've been collecting them anyway.
Yeah.
And so now when I make, because I'm dairy free, the green one here, guys, is our gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook, 25% off right now. But I'm dairy free, so I make ghee at home. Super easy. Please stop buying that. at $8 for a little tiny jar. That is the biggest waste of money. But what I can do now is make a big batch of ghee, put it in these little jars since it's summer now and it's going to be hotter. I leave it on the counter so it's soft and able to use it easier. And so that way it won't spoil sitting on the counter when I do the littler jars. So I am all set to go. Did you send me the next batch, Mike? Chrissy says, love apples and nut butter, but you know, peanut butter, guys, is a lot cheaper than almond and all that other stuff. So go with stuff like that. Carissa, tomorrow is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
She says she's going to be old. Well, that depends on your definition. Debbie says, my son eats bananas for breakfast. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The N Havy says, dinner tonight was chicken leg quarters, zucchini, corn on the cob. Cost about $4 to feed her entire family of 5. Yeah, it is not expensive at all. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to decide if I should do cooking videos again. And that's one thing I was going to do, was start showing how you can cook an entire meal for $5. It doesn't have to be expensive. Mm-hmm. Reading the Word says, or Mrs. G says, beans and rice are complete protein. Yes. Cinda says, we have started doing modified fast 3 days. No, 3 days. I don't know what this means. A week, maybe, with eating a small soup and green beans only. Okay, there you go. Carolyn, love your practical advice. My partner stopped buying bagels at Tim Hortons and has a banana every morning instead. Yeah, guys, stop buying food at the restaurants. You have no idea how much money you're wasting on these things. It's astronomical. And then you wonder why you can't afford to pay off your debt. I'm telling you, you're just eating your way into debt. That's
I think
doing.
part of it too is people do not keep track of how much they're actually spending on that.
Yeah.
If you start looking at your credit card receipts or just paying cash or keeping track of it in some way, we have more people that have been shocked. They had no idea how much they were spending by just even running by McDonald's and grabbing something small or quick. And you start adding those up, it will blow your mind. And I recommend, if you think that you're not spending much going out to eat and you just get little things once in a while, start adding up those receipts, and it might help you, give you an eye opener to maybe start changing things a little bit too.
Okay. Let's see. Susan says, since it's just 2 of us, usually our dinners are eaten twice. Yep. Mm-hmm. Wanda, I made Italian chicken in volume 1, the red one, the other day, but it turned out into lemon pepper chicken. Have no idea how that happened, but okay. Didn't have the correct amount for the ingredients, so she must have just made it lemon pepper. There you go. Just adapt and overcome. Iva, do you make 3 meals a day for your family? I do not. I just cook dinner. Jen says, I told my mom today that we are food rich. Our shelves and freezers are well stocked. Yep. Mm-hmm. Christy, I have got your honey baked chicken recipe in the oven right now, cooking for dinner. Love the cookbook. Just received it for Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Sandy says she loves beans, but she can't eat them anymore. They make her sick. I'm sorry. Kimberly, my mom used to serve rice at every meal when I was growing up. If I didn't like dinner, milk and sugar on rice was what I ate for dinner. Yep.
And that reminds me, use some foods when you eat that are what I call filler foods, that have more, like a potato will fill you up a little bit more than, say, kiwi, a small bit of kiwi, especially for children and guys. They need stuff to make them feel full. And you can use some really healthy and good foods that are kind of like filler foods.
Okay, let's see what's next. Rebecca says, Ruth says we're picking avocados from our tree. Not as many this year.
Yum.
Avocados this time of year?
Yeah, you think it was.
Oh, she must be in Australia or something.
Oh, yeah.
She's got to be in Australia because avocados aren't this time of year. Are they?
I thought they were more winter.
I thought they were like December and January.
But she might be someplace else.
Rebecca, yep, Aldi's red sticker chicken for me. She gets that 50% off. Yep. Melinda, one of my favorite meals is pinto beans with cornbread. Yep, a lot of people like that. Mm-hmm. Connie says my favorite cheap meal is smothered sausage and potatoes. Yep. Kimberly, lentils makes hamburger stretch. Yep. Denise, cheapest bacon here is $3.99 at Aldi's. It goes on sale all the time here, so when it does, I stock up. Rebecca says, yep, I'm diabetic, so I don't have a bun with my hamburger. And Melinda says, I make grilled hamburger patties with melted cheese on top, no bun.
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly says, chicken breast is cheap if you buy it frozen in the package. If you break down how many meals you get out of that one package, chicken breast is economical. It can be, but it's still cheaper to buy it bone-in almost all the time. Lori loves soups. Patricia, I know I can overcook chicken thighs and they are still moist. Yep. Barbara says, made sweet tea for hubby yesterday morning, made simple syrup in a pan on the stove, and made mashed potatoes for dinner, and he said they were sweet. I forgot to wash the pan after the syrup.
Oops. You might, for your simple syrup, what I do is, and does the same as simple syrup, is I put the tea bags in the pitcher and I put my scoops of sugar in there, and then I pour the boiling water. Just take like 2 cups or so, or 3 cups of boiling water and pour on top of them and let them sit and steep. And what happens, that has the same effect as making a simple syrup. And so it saves you, dirtying another pan and everything, and a little bit of time too, and not having to worry about washing another pan. And it really is exactly, it tastes just like Southern sweetened tea. Everybody, thinks it tastes just the same. So,
Ellie, if we have leftover burgers, we crumble them up and put them in spaghetti. Yep.
Mhm.
Mrs. G says, I made chicken thighs marinated in Greek yogurt. It was so good. Yeah.
you guys are doing some yummy stuff.
And if you need a Greek, volume 2 has Greek yogurt right there, like pennies, guys. We're talking a huge container for 25 to 50 cents. Tanya says she prefers dark meat. Patricia says, I've been wanting your cookbook for years. I finally got it 40% off for Mother's Day. Yay.
Oh, good.
God is great says, I noticed egg prices are going back down too. Yep. Susan says, buy one, get one free at Publix. Most of what she buys is there. She stocks up until the next sale. Yep. JT, I'm so lucky my sister has chickens and offers her eggs to me for free. That's nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Terry, I don't like chicken dark meat alone, but put it into something.
Yeah.
Chicken salad. Yep.
And that's another thing. Use the cheaper stuff in the casseroles or soups or whatever, and then save the chicken breast for when you just eat them straight. And do that with a lot of different foods,
Yeah. Wanda, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, please. Yes, please hit the thumbs up, guys.
Thank you for reminding them.
A lot of people don't like regular chicken, but they make orange sauce or orange zest. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth says, Ruth is in Australia. That's why she's picking avocados. I'm like, that cannot be possible. Ruth says, cooking up some stews here in Australia saves quite a lot. Yep. Mm-hmm. Wanda here in Oregon, milk is on sale at Albertsons for $1.77. Yep. I still have milk from when it was 97 cents 3 weeks ago, I think. Wanda, I call these videos training. Ellen, Major Sloppy Joe's thought I had made enough for 2 nights. I was wrong. Husband went back in the kitchen, ate the rest out of the pan. Next time making double, hiding half before I left the kitchen.
That's good.
She loves our book.
Oh, thank you.
Or maybe it's Jeannie. I don't know if it's Jeannie or Ellen, but thank you. Question, Marcy says, how long does unopened oil-based salad dressing last past the due date? Ooh, unopened, I would say 6 months, but you better use it up quick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go more than 3 to 6 months.
Those types.
Well, if it's oil-based.
Oh, did you say oil-based?
Unopened oil-based. Well, so if there's no dairy in it at all, then I would say you might be able to get by with a year, possibly. The oil will go rancid. So I would still say 6 months, probably. Oil goes rancid pretty quick. Carissa says she loves us. How are we? So we're good. Mm-hmm. It's been a very long week. Let's see what happened. Oh, yeah. Well, we started off last week after the show. On Thursday, Mike went to go pick up Jack at school, and one of the teachers' husband was waiting to pick up their kid who goes to school there also. They found had a heart attack and died in his car as school had let out.
All the kids were just walking out.
All the kids were walking out of school. The son found him. And so Mike was trying to leave to get out of the way, and he ended up blocking traffic for him while the teachers were doing CPR, and the dad unfortunately ended up dying. And so we had that. Then the next day we had barbecue for the end of school, which they weren't going to do. They weren't sure because the teacher, it's one of the teachers, and it's a really super small school. And, but they decided to go ahead and go with the barbecue. So we did that barbecue. And then the 2 days, the next day, then someone else was having a get together. And so they had to get together with that, partly to help the son who found him just kind of, be around some kids and stuff. And then Memorial Day, we decided to invite the school over to our house for Memorial Day, and we only had 4 people coming. So then, this is pretty funny. So then I invited the pastor and his wife and their son. And then I invited, who else did I invite? Somebody else. Then I invited another gal. I invited somebody else. So we thought there was going to be around 11 people total, including us. So I made up all the hamburgers and everything. Well, come find out. So at 5 o'clock, we had 11 people coming. By the time the night was over, we had around 25 to 30 people there. So my friend made this huge bowl of fruit salad, and she brought it in. I said, we're not going to even touch that. She said, I know.
It was a big bowl.
She said, I know. She said, I made way too much. There was like none left, like one little serving left. So it was just funny because here we thought nobody was showing up. So we kept inviting more people. And then in the end, everybody was like, oh, well, I got done early, so I was able to come over. And it ended up working out really good.
Fun.
Yeah, it was really
fun. And you know what? One thing that was nice about it, there was a huge variety. I love it when you have a get together where you have some older people, some middle-aged people, little kids, teenagers, and you're all mixed together. I think we separate everybody so much nowadays. Like you have the youth group, and then you have the young marrieds group, and then you have the senior citizen group, and that type of thing in churches and for everything. They are always separated into their separate groups, and I think it's just really fun when you can get all the age groups together and different lifestyles, different type of people, and different things like that. And it really was nice.
Yeah, It really turned out good. Then yesterday, the window showed up. So we frantically ran over to pick up the window in the back of the pickup, got the window, let the contractors know, and they can't come till Saturday. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined, as Dave likes to say. But we do have the windows, so maybe 2 weeks my kitchen remodel will be done. And then tomorrow we have the funeral we're going to. So it's been one of those weeks where we're kind of like, holy moly, here we were wanting to try and get out and do some more stuff. We didn't know we'd do it all in 1 week. Let's see. Kimberly says, I've always been a manwich girl, but I made the homemade sloppy joes and my husband loved them. Yes. Dining on a Dime, Volume 1. Every single person, they're like, those are my favorite sloppy joes. If you go to Super Easy Recipes on YouTube, Michael put that link in there for you. I also have a video on how to make them on there. On Super Easy Recipes is my other channel. Lan, I put lemon and ginger in the kombucha, makes it drinkable. Sorry, I can't. I'm done drinking mold. They had me on that mold diet.
It makes her sick. She reacts to it.
I will not do that anymore. Super Easy Recipes. Candace, people need to buy protein, vegetables, and potatoes and rice and start cooking. Yep. Diane, I was excited to find 8 packs of bottle pop for $12 yesterday. Very good. Homestead Chili says, I'm glad you're doing this topic today. I'm going to the grocery store tomorrow. First time in 2 months. Good job. Chrissy says, woohoo, heaven. Okay, I don't know what is heaven, but
probably we were talking about meeting everybody in heaven.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, seeing everybody in
heaven.
And
Mrs. G says that will be amazing. Melinda says, one of the best recipes is still the punch bowl with fruit punch and a block of cheap vanilla ice cream. I know nobody makes that anymore.
I know.
You're so right.
It's true.
Denise says I got a 10-pound bag of chicken leg quarters for $4.79. Very good. Buy one, get one free hamburger patties, fresh, not frozen, which bought $2.90 and froze them. Very good.
You guys are on a roll here. You're doing good.
Miss G says, yes, we Americans eat too much food. Yes. Patricia, same here. I keep cooking with small appliances while my kitchen is being remodeled. Yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate. Don't get me wrong. I'm very fortunate to have a semi-kitchen in the basement. I don't have a stove down there. But I did have a dishwasher. Don't have a dishwasher anymore. But I had a refrigerator, sink, and dishwasher down there. And so I'm very fortunate. But I would have just moved everything into the bathroom or into the laundry room. if I needed to. So you just got to make do. But I wasn't about to spend $40 to $50 every night eating out for a kitchen remodel. My goodness, that would be ridiculously expensive. Barbara, I had a can of white meat chicken, 2 boxed macaroni and cheese, and her husband loves it. Very good.
That would be good.
Kimberly, I'm buying gallon tea bags now that they've come out at Walmart because you get 24 in a package for $4.98. That is making more tea than putting in multiple tea bags. Very good. The kitchen you're in now, is it a usable kitchen? So kind of. I have a refrigerator. Huh? Oh, this one. No. Kathy, hamburger patties are good in green beans. What? Hamburger patties
And green beans.
no, she says are good in green beans.
Oh,
I think if you just break them up in pieces and throw
Put 'em in the
and
hamburger.
stir 'em up
Well,
with
that's a
green
new one.
beans.
which would be like lentils, probably.
Well, it
or
would
Bacon
just
something
be
like
a
green
casserole, is
Yeah.
what it is.
Huh?
It's like what you do with bacon, green beans, or some other thing like that. It's
Yeah.
just not as
I
tasty
guess.
as
Yeah.
bacon.
Yeah.
Nothing is as tasty as bacon. Hey,
Bacon,
I'm just
oh.
saying. Kathy or Sandy, as we get older, we prefer home cut food. Yep. Tanya, I keep stuff in my freezer like chicken nuggets. Go ahead and send me the next ones. Or boxed mac and cheese. It's easy to fix and drive through. Yep.
Yeah, don't be afraid to keep it simple, guys. Like she said, you can do these easy meals. You don't need to do elaborate baking in the oven or doing things like that. Hot dogs with, chips or something, or baked potatoes for the full meal with stuff to go on top of it. Just keep it simple.
Okay. I'm just going to delete all the comments about hot dogs. So if you make a comment about hot dogs, just know right now I'm just going to delete it. Okay. Sue, being in debt is stressful. Yes. It is way more stressful than cooking at home. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Manuel, our soda here in Coos Bay Safeway, buy 2, get 3 free. Yep. Same. They're the same company. Denise, instead of using a pound of hamburger, I use a half a pound. Yep. That's what mom did. I cook the chicken leg quarters all at once and shred it and put it in packets for the freezer. Yes. That's what I do. Let me see. Did Mike get me the questions? He did. Louise loves her volume 2 right there. Thank you very much. Carrie says, hiya, longtime follower.
Oh,
Thank you.
So I didn't include all of her comment. I noticed that after that she said, making my dad your meatloaf tonight.
Ooh,
Oh.
very good.
That's amazing meatloaf.
Yes, the meatloaf is very, very good. Okay, let's see. The next one is Michelle says, my stepmom always made crispy cookies. I like mine chewy. I ended up not making any for Memorial Day. Plenty of people brought sweets. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Connie says her go-to cheap cookie is Snickerdoodles. There you go.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
And I keep clicking on the wrong thing here. And Rebecca says, I like making a batch of brownies, freeze in baggies, and have 2 for treats. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Ramsey says, I hit local Savage Grocery. They had quarts of Chobani for $1. Wow, that's really good. Yogurt for $1. That's good. Susan, when I try to make homemade buttermilk in dining and dairying, it never turns out thick like the stuff you buy at the store. It's just like regular milk. I kept it in the counter for 24 hours. Do it for 48 hours then. It just didn't stay out long enough. Diana, I made your hot cocoa, then freeze it in 1/2 to 1 cup servings. Then I blend it in the blender and it makes a milkshake.
That would be yummy. Yeah.
Okay, that is something I have never heard of anybody doing.
Yeah, but that would be good.
That would be interesting to do a video on. 1/2 cup. How would you get your blender to do a 1/2 to a 1 cup block?
Well, you'd have to let it maybe soften just slightly. But you do
Ice
cubes.
cubes. Ice
do
cubes would be a lot easier. But that would be something to
That
try.
would
That's
be-
a really
yeah,
interesting
that's
idea.
good.
Wanda, once I took rice, pilaf, and sauteed onions, mushrooms, and some peas to a potluck. I thought no one would like anything that plain. There were 2 women there that were gluten-free, and that was one of the few things they could eat.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, don't be afraid to take simple things to these potlucks.
Well, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, a lot of people like just simple. We have, it's just good old home cooking. And a lot of people enjoy that because they go out to eat all the time or something like that. So that tastes really good to them.
And I forgot to mention that Friday, we had some viewers that are now friends stop by and spend the night. And get ready to get on. She made a huge thing of pasta salad.
Oh,
I
I've
mean,
been
I'm
wanting
talking
pasta salad so
huge
bad.
thing
I
of
need to
pasta
fix some.
salad. And so we had that left over. So tell them what I did with the pasta salad.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, you can't show yourself?
Well, I can, but
That's
the
fine.
mic will do crazy things. Here,
Oh.
I'll do it anyway.
No, you can come over then.
So I just before we were going to go to our other occasion, I saw Tara go into the fridge and pull out a brand new Corningware container, and I said, "Are you going to re-potluck the potluck dish?"
I
So
did.
she totally filled it up with the other pasta salad and took it there. And even after that,
We still had a ton left.
I just ate the last of it today.
It was
hilarious.
super good. But my goodness, she made enough pasta salad for 30 people, which I appreciate because that has been my lunch and some dinners for the last several days. But it was just funny because I was repotlucking. Let's see. Melinda says really cheap cookies are those pressed cookies made with shortening. You can color them and use different flavorings.
Mm-hmm.
Becca says, yes, do cooking videos. Denise says, better you don't buy sodas, drink water, less calories, don't cost you much, lose weight, don't get type 2 diabetes, increase your heart disease.
And you know, another thing, we keep talking about pop and everything, not doing so much of that, but how many people have the fancy coffee makers with the little plastic containers that you put in?
Keurigs.
Yeah. You got to be careful with this kind of stuff. I know they're probably convenient and nice, but the coffee pot itself is so expensive, but then you keep buying the little things that go with it. So you might rethink that. Even though you got the coffee pot, you might just want to sell it and get something where you just do regular old coffee. If you're really serious about saving money.
And people say, well, then I don't make too much coffee and throw out all the coffee. That is a bunch of baloney.
Yeah,
that's a bunch of baloney.
There's no reason to throw out coffee. I just reheat
First of all, make less.
Yeah, you make less.
Reheat it or put it in a thermos.
I don't know why.
But just make less.
People think they have to make a full pot of coffee.
No.
I make 1 cup of coffee in my coffee pot. 1 cup is all I make. And so there's no reason. I don't know why everybody thinks they have to do a whole big pot of coffee and they keep throwing it out. Another thing is, if you do make more than you plan, freeze the in ice cubes, and you can use them for coffee flavored things. If you have coffee flavored desserts
or an iced coffee
or an iced coffee or something. So don't waste your food. 50% of people, the food they buy, they throw out. You throw out the half a pot of coffee. You throw out the half a cup of tea you didn't drink, the half a cup of pop you didn't drink, the bowl of cereal. Your kids filled this huge bowl with cereal and stuff. It gets all thrown out, the half a cup of juice or milk. Stop throwing your food out. Be more careful and vigilant with it.
Okay, next is Mrs. G says, that's great reminder for the peanut butter cookies for her teen boys. Yep. And so did God is great, said great point about the peanut butter cookies. Yep. And Sandy says, when attending family funerals, I would always bake cookies. Yep.
Yeah.
Josephine, Jonathan Kahn was live, 24-hour streaming. Wow. I wonder if he was actually live. Sometimes they just replay old ones, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Candace, organic was just a genius marketing scam for the food industry. Yes. Organic is nothing but a scam.
Yeah.
Let
me tell. Can I tell my organic story? I read an article several years back, and they said that when they had this meeting, the guy in charge of the company went to the board, and he said, "We're going to start doing this fruit and vegetable stuff," and it was organic. And one of the guys at the board meeting said, "How are we going to convince people to buy this organic grown food that's like 4 to 5 times the price of regular food when it's just the same stuff?" And the head of the company said, all it will do is we'll just tell them it's going to cure heart disease and make them healthier, and they'll just eat it up and buy it. And from that point on, you can just tell people have just done exactly that. If you look at organic stuff, it'll say may help with heart disease, may help with cancer or prevent cancer. It never says it will. They use the word may, or it's thought to have, or there's studies looking into it. But if you look at this stuff, they're not very definite on it half the time. So
Okay, thank you, Mother. You just slaughtered our channel for the next month. No, I mean, it's true. But, and we're just going to delete all your comments if you want to argue with us, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Carissa, the Vaseline for my feet, softer without $20 lotion, which the doctor recommended. Very good.
Mm.
Amy, bargain store near me occasionally has expired name brand cereal for 99 cents a box. Yep. She loads up. How do you make ghee? You just put butter on a low simmer and let it simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes. And all the solids will fall to the bottom and you'll see the clear fat come to the top and it's done. And that's how you do it. And then just strain off the foam if you want and pour it in jars. Just leave the bits on the bottom in the pan. That's the protein. Mosaic says, please do cooking videos. Chipmunk says, love the gluten-free lava cake. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. She said it was so simple to make. And Trish wants cooking videos. Thank you. And so does Kristen. Lynn. And Lynn wants them also. And so does Lana. Okay. And Susan, now when I eat, I ask myself how many groceries I could have bought with that money when she eats out. Very good.
Very
Yes.
good. That's a good way to do it.
Banning the Bedlands restaurant meals are reserved for special occasions. Yes. Mike and I do go out to eat once every 2 weeks or so. Two to three times a month. It just kind of depends. And but we never went out on any dates or anything like that until about 3 years ago. When the kids finally started getting old enough to watch, well, not getting old enough, but we just finally had the money to be able to do that. And so when we paid off our house, but we never went out. We never hired a babysitter. We never went on vacations or anything like that. We never, as far as like had a yearly vacation or anything, we might make a trip to Colorado to visit family. That would be like $500, but that's not a vacation. And so you just do what you have to do. You know, you can't afford it. You just can't afford it. So Doodle 2 says dinner could have been a bull snake. I had a big one in my yard just now. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, at least you don't have mice. That's a good thing. Nicole, she loves watching our flea market videos, and it would be great to see cooking videos. Hello from Nova Scotia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Mom and I hit the thrift store. We keep going to the thrift store, coming out with basketfuls, and we're not intending to do that.
Did you take a picture of my new cabinet for them to see?
No, I forgot that one, so I'll have to have you take a picture.
I will.
Yeah, so here's a funny thing. With Mom's cabinet, I posted it on Upcycle looking for this new cabinet for Mom, and this lady's like, oh, I have one. It's $250. I was like, yeah, no, that's a little bit out of my price range. And so then 3 days later, we went to the restore, $10. Same exact thing.
It's perfect. I mean, it's got glass front doors. For you quilters, if you've ever seen the quilts stacked up in one of those cabinets, you know, and they're stacked with the glass front doors, it's in perfect shape. I don't think there was any scratches, nothing on it. It's got nice shelves in it. $10. I couldn't believe it. The shelves almost that they had in there were, you know, nice enough. So I was tickled. That was a good deal.
So we got that a good deal. But what's funny is, as I've been working on decorating my kitchen and Mike's brilliant idea, which is going to be revealed on Friday or Saturday, depending on how quick the editor can get it edited. But I finished the voiceover today, got him all the footage. I can't believe we made it this whole time without revealing Mike's brilliant idea.
Friday, Saturday, tomorrow or Saturday?
Well, tomorrow's Thursday, but yeah, Friday or Saturday.
This week, I mean.
We're going to reveal it. Now, I'm doing a whole series on this. So you're going to have to be patient, because about once a week, I'm going to have a new section on it coming out, because Mike's brilliant idea is so brilliant. I have to have at least 2, maybe 3 videos on it. So be watching for that, guys. Hopefully it's going to come out Friday, but it might be Saturday. Deborah, the only time organic is less expensive is growing it yourself. Yes. Christy, my guilty pleasure is $2 for large iced mocha at McDonald's on my way to work. That's a lot of $2. That's a lot of $2. That's $100 a year. Wanda, I like the carbonation of sodas and salsa waters. How would I turn regular water into that? You won't. You have to buy special chemicals to do that. So you would just get salsa water and add flavoring. Is the cheapest way to do that. Trish, in California, avocados are available all year. They are?
Yeah.
They bloom all year, and you can pick avocados all year.
Well,
You remember with the beach in October and it was like 80-some degrees and it was snowing here?
Well, so, I mean, yeah, but plant trees especially only bloom like once a year or something. Because most of the avocados we get the rest of the year from Mexico.
well,
I don't know. I guess set me straight on this, guys, because I had no idea. I thought they just were in December and January, and so then we got them from other places in the world because we couldn't grow them. Or maybe they're just cheaper. I don't know.
they could be just cheaper.
Amy, did we find gas for the truck? Yes, we need to go fill up our gas tanks. We keep forgetting to do that. Nikki, she loves your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Hippie Hebrew Homestead. Now that's a new one. Hippie Hebrew Homestead. That's
good.
an interesting combination. I was active duty Navy for a long time, and during that time, instead of partying, we put the research into homesteading and such. One of my favorite things is making our own sausage. Oh, yeah. A lot cheaper. And if you want sausage recipes, Dining on a Dime, Volume 1, we even have sausage recipes in here.
It's
and
easy
they're
to
good.
make. Yeah.
They're really good. Michelle, she loves quesadillas. Yep. And that is in Volume 1 and Volume 2. 2 different recipes. Carrie says her dad made meatloaf tonight. Yum. She's been a long time follower.
You know, we've mentioned this before, and I think since we have new people sometimes, we'll mention it again. If you can't start finding things, we have so many recipes. I didn't realize it till we started just having a shortage on stuff, that we've got so many things that you can make yourself, like the sausage, you know, and different recipes that you can make from scratch yourself in dining. And so if you need something to, like, if you're a prepper like, and you need something with just basic recipes, we've got a lot of them in there. So bless you. You're not going to sneeze?
Sorry. Okay. Wanda, when my milk goes sour, I don't throw it away. I bake with it. I'm always surprised when someone tells me they'd never heard of that. I know.
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking to Brad at the Restore about that?
Mm-hmm. And you can freeze sour milk and then pull it out.
Yeah.
If your recipes call
It's
for
the
half
same as
cups
buttermilk.
all the time,
Yeah.
freeze half cup servings in the freezer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Denise, where did we get buy 2 get 3 free on the sodas? Albertsons had it this week. So they're probably not going to have it again. Well, they might have it for 4th of July. 4th of July is kind of an iffy holiday. Sometimes they have hamburger and all the fixins and sodas on sale for 4th of July, and some years they don't. I haven't figured out what the prerequisite is for that. But usually it's Memorial Day and Labor Day. But we won't go through that much soda between now and Labor Day. I first of all don't allow the boys to just drink all the soda they want. It'll be like 3 maybe a week when we have it, maybe 2 a week, something like that. Donnie says I always use bread for hamburgers and hot dogs. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Buns are a little too much bread for me. Yep, they can be. Kimberly, if you pan grill the bread, it's like having restaurant style patty melt sandwich. Oh, that's a great video idea.
Mm-hmm.
I might do that for a video.
Another thing, if you have leftover hot dog and hamburger buns that they're maybe starting to get a little bit stale or whatever, they're really good to put butter on and put them under the broiler and broil them like that. I love them like that. Or to toast them in the toaster if you just got 1 or 2, of the leftover buns and they're starting to dry out. That's a good way to use those up.
Teresa says, got the free Bible. Thank you. You're welcome. And if you guys want a free Bible, go to livingonadime.com, go to the shop, click on free Bible, and we will be happy to send you one. And please, I understand when people do this, they are meaning well. But we are begging you to please do not just send a Bible to someone without them requesting it themselves. We had another person today that a Bible got requested, in their name, and they were not a happy camper. So even though I know you mean well in sending them a Bible, it is up to someone if they are going to accept God or not. And if they are not willing to accept God, then that is their decision, and they are going to have to face God with that decision when they die. But you can't just force it on them. And we've had several people who have become very angry because people send it to them as a hint, basically.
They get upset with us.
And
holler at us.
so please, if someone asks for one, that's fine, but please, one per household, and do not send them. Let the people order it themselves. If you want to send them the link, that's great. And by the way, thank you for all the donations. We have gotten a ton of donations, and we are just shipping it. We ship out more Bibles than we sell cookbooks now. So thank you guys for helping us with that. Kimberly says, if you pan grill, oh wait, sorry, wrong one. Priscilla says, I get 3 chickens for 10 euros, weighing 1,300 grams each, 3 pounds each. Wow, that's very good. Darnell says, I love what you said about all ages should not be separated. The young ones miss on not learning from their elders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but could we phrase that a different way?
Elders.
Just kidding. Melinda, Tara, I think your kitchen must be your lesson in patience. Oh, goodness. Yes. We still have to put in the window, which they're doing on Saturday. After that, we can put in the sink. I hope Saturday night we can get the sink put in and install the dishwasher. I hope we can get that installed. Then we have to put up the tile. Is that it? No, put up the light. We have to put up the light. So we're getting close. But yeah, my nerves are a little shot. I will be perfectly honest. And I've been cleaning and cleaning and cleaning, and there is just drywall dust everywhere. It is everywhere. Diana says my mortgage is down $19,000 thanks to your tips.
Very
That
good.
is great. Very good.
You're doing good on that.
Trish says, been sick for 2 weeks, so hubby has been taking over dinner duties. Needs to say he understands just how much money is saved by eating at home. Very good. Very good. Morgana, hello. Have you run into not being able to get orange peel or lemon peel and spices anymore? We haven't had it here since the virus. I have never purchased orange or lemon peel.
I haven't either.
I just use orange or lemon and peel it myself. So
yeah, we got a recipe right in the book for it.
Well, I mean, that's for candied orange peels.
Oh yeah, if you
but,
need candy
yeah,
orange peels.
I don't buy them.
I don't get them either too often.
Wanda, my Memorial Day was just me and my dog. She ignores me unless she wants food. That's funny. Carissa, yay to the window. Yes, that's what we said. That's why we were there. And she's like, well, you kind of need to call and let us know you were coming. She said, I have no one here to get it down because it's upstairs to load it. We're like, we'll carry it down. You know, we did it. But thankfully, they were on their way back. And so in about 10 minutes is all we had to wait. We got the window, and it's sitting in our garage. It's all I can do to keep cutting a hole in the wall myself to put it in. I'm this close.
Did you see on the dog one? She said definitely not an emotional support animal.
Wanda says, "Oh yeah."
I don't know if they can read that.
She said on her dog, she said it's not an emotional support dog because if it's too cold in the bedroom, she thinks it's time for her to come to bed. Oh, this whole emotional support animal thing has just gotten ridiculously out of hand. There was a dog fight in Home Depot the other day. I just wanted to tell the manager, if I get bit by that dog, you can guarantee I'm suing Home Depot. This is ridiculous.
Well, what's sad, it makes it hard for the people the few people that really need something like that.
I know.
And it makes
now nobody believes them.
Yeah. That's what all this stuff, when everybody has to have it now, different things, you know, even like some of the different diets and stuff. I have to have this, people that really have serious, you know, health problems, it's not considered as important anymore. And so, yeah, it makes it bad.
Kelly says Albertson's here in Roswell. Oh, that can get a little freaky there, I hear. New Mexico has great weekly sales on meat. Oftentimes buy one, get one free. Better deals in Walmart. Yes. In Colorado, the grocery stores were much cheaper than Walmart. So so I would get my holy cow. What did I just do?
You need another drink?
No, I think I got it. That was weird. I used to shop at the grocery store, not Walmart, because it was much cheaper. Mom would go to the grocery store in Kansas and not Walmart.
Yeah,
It was not
I
cheaper.
wouldn't go to Walmart because it was more
But
expensive.
here,
it's just
it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
But we only have 2 grocery stores.
Mhm.
So unless it's on sale, I have to get it at Walmart. Wendy, howdy from Louisville, Kentucky. I made the meatloaf in Diana Dime cookbook. It was yummy, and I normally don't like meatloaf. Let me tell you, I hate meatloaf. When we would go visit my dad, he would make meatloaf. It was so gross. This meatloaf is good. And in volume 2, we have extraordinary meatloaf, and that's even better. Carolyn, we stretch our taco meat by adding 2 cans of green beans to our ground beef and onions. Okay.
So a lot of people are putting green beans.
Yeah, but for
with
tacos?
Well, it'd be no different than lettuce, a green vegetable.
I don't like green food.
You don't like to listen to
I'm
you.
kidding. I eat lots of green food.
But a lot of people are mixing the.
I just can't see green beans in tacos.
I know, but the thing is, if you think about it, one of the old-fashioned really good meals people loved was meatloaf with green beans and mashed potatoes. So it kind of makes sense. It's a good combination. Hamburger with green beans.
For tacos?
I don't know what. Well, they're putting fish in tacos. I can't handle.
Well, I can't see that either. I've never had a fish taco.
They say they're really, really yummy, but I just.
I need to actually try one.
We need to stretch our taste buds. I do like fish too. Yeah.
I wonder if they have fish tacos at our taco place.
I believe they do.
I should try it one time. Oh, that would blow their mind. For 3 years. For 2 years, we've only had the same dinner pretty much there every single time.
People that like fish, they absolutely love fish tacos, so you might try it.
Well, I like fish.
I do too.
I just can't see it in taco.
You know what I find funny here is they have got a ton of fresh fish stuff, like lobsters.
They ship it in from Louisiana. A guy goes once a week. He drives clear down to Louisiana, fills up his truck, and drives it all the way back up here. And that's his business.
Well, I couldn't
He said he goes once a
why
week.
they have so much fresh fish, because in Kansas we got nothing. We had absolutely hardly anything for fresh lobster and shrimps and stuff. Not that I bought them that much, but we just didn't have it. But here it's everywhere's fish stuff, which is really yummy. But
it's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's just straight.
We're as far from the ocean as you can get.
Wyoming. I was going to say Wyoming. You just can't get a whole lot farther. Even Kansas is closer to the ocean than Wyoming. So
I don't know.
It's good, but
and he sells out every week at the farmer's market thing. Sandy says, I pan fried 2 pork cutlets and we had sandwiches and leftover potato salad. Yum. Susan, instead of going to Chick-fil-A with my granddaughter for nuggets, I buy frozen nuggets and fries. Very good. Electris Trio says, oh my, I adore frozen brownies. Well, have mercy. What is with you guys today and these weird food things?
You guys are coming up with some good ones.
I have never heard of frozen brownies, but that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be like a piece of frozen chocolate.
Yeah, it would be really good.
Wow. I'm going to have to go back through this video and do a video
that
on
would
all
be
these
good
weird things.
For like a hot fudge brownie sundae, I mean.
Yeah.
That would be really good for. And that frozen brownies would be good if you're having graduations, picnics, or whatever, and you need a quick dessert. You can keep the brownies frozen in the freezer and just bring some ice cream and throw it together, or have people over.
Oh, and that person's name that I can pronounce says it's eclair, like the pastry. Now, how in the world do you get eclair out of that?
I can't see it. I don't have my glasses.
Oh, I guess the first part of it. So it's like eclair Rio. I don't know. I have no idea what that means.
This coming from somebody whose name is Tara.
I know. I don't get it. Okay, sorry.
A clear trio. That's the
Yeah.
user's name.
Well, now I see the word eclair in the name.
It's
I didn't
Claire
see the
Trio.
name before.
Oh yeah.
Eclair trio. I have no idea what that could mean, but maybe she just likes 3 different kinds of eclairs.
Maybe there's 3 people named Eclair.
Maybe there's 3 people named Eclair. Terry Lynn says she made our potato salad right here
Mm,
for Memorial Day. And if you want to make it even better, put bacon grease in it.
Mm.
I made that for Memorial Day, and that whole entire huge bowl was gone. Mrs. Happy Hebrew says, having Mexican food tonight, instead of buying almost $6 bags of lime tortilla chips, I bought a thing of tortillas and now frying them up and making her own. Very good.
mm-hmm.
Emmanuel says, "Hey, what is with every..." They must have been having a discussion about green beans. Emmanuel says, hamburger and green bean hot dish with tomato sauce and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Mm-hmm.
I could see that, though. That would be like just mixing all your food together on your plate.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say with the meatloaf and the mashed potatoes and the green beans, it's a
And Carissa
staple.
loves your hot dogs.
Yes, thank you.
It's all the hate mail we're going to get afterwards about hot dogs. Believe me. We get hate mail for the stupidest things. Canning, hot dogs, margarine. What else? I don't know. Those are the 3 big ones. Wendy says, yummy pasta salad. Yeah, the pasta salad was really good. She made it gluten-free for me, and it was really good, so I ate on that for a while. Nancy, we rediscovered sandwiches and hamburgers for a week last month after I had a small accident, was not able to cook. Yep.
Mm.
Here you go. Kitty made your vanilla creamer, and now I'm saving money on creamer. I saw in your other shows that you said you make your loaf of bread. Is your French fries recipe in your book? We don't have a French fry recipe in the book. So we don't have a French fry recipe.
But I can tell you real quick, guys, there's nothing to making French fries. You fill a pot up with hot oil and you just peel the potato. Well, you don't have to peel them, I guess, but you just use a slicer and slice the French fries, the potatoes up into a French fry. Do they have food processors that do that? I had a mandolin-like thing that I used to make the French fries, and you just dump them in the oil and let them cook till they get brown.
If you want them really crispy, take them out of the oil, let your oil reheat again, and double fry them. I heard that that's the way to get them really super crispy.
I never bought a frozen French fry for, I don't know, years and years and years. I just made homemade French fries. And back then, everybody just made them because you didn't really have frozen that much.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really, really good.
Jeannie says she's still eating macaroni salad from Saturday. Yep.
Oh, you guys are killing me. I've been wanting pasta salad so bad, and I haven't had the stuff to make it. So
Rebecca says if you have a Publix near you, check their digital coupons on their app. Sometimes they're a coupon for free items. Yep. One trip, she got 5 items for free. I should check on Albertsons and see because I think it's the same company. Patricia says now she has all of our cookbooks and she loves them. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Wanda says I only do elaborate meals on special occasion. Yeah, for me, it's Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that's it. I don't even do Easter anymore. But this says the first thing she unpacked for moving was her Dining on a Dime cookbooks.
Oh, that's.
I hope you're recovering from your move. We are just barely starting to get recovered from our move. Even then, we're not sure.
Almost 2 years ago.
Almost 2 years ago. Tracy, my husband's son started an intergeneration Sunday school class. We love having little kids interact with the older members. I learned so much, even at my old age of 61, from members of the class that are in their 80s. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Patricia, I always make dump cake to take to potlucks. Yep.
Mm.
Connie says I used to spend $250 to $280 on groceries today. Once sales started, groceries was $139.
Very good.
Next week, she only needs milk. Very good.
Very good.
Beth loved my repotlucking. Thank you. Diana, yes, ice cubes would be great for the frozen hot chocolate. I also had peanut butter. Oh, that would be good too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that would be really good.
You guys, we haven't had supper, and you guys are coming up with all this stuff.
Yum.
It's killing us.
Darnell, I bought 10 pounds of thick ribs for $1.99 a pound. Good.
Mm.
Put some in the microwave, covered with my own homemade rub and potatoes are wrapped in foil. Wait, how do you put them in the microwave and wrap them with foil? Put some in the microwave, covered with my own homemade rub and potatoes, wrapped in aluminum foil. Worked out. She must have meant the oven, not the microwave. Worked out in the yard all day, came inside ready to. Yeah, she must have meant the oven.
That must be an exciting dinner.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd be a really adventurous dinner. She must have met the oven. So
Yeah, that's
anyway.
so easy to do the baked
Mhm.
potatoes like that with the meat in the oven.
Yeah. Wanda, I sometimes make extra coffee and extra brownies or chocolate cake. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She uses it in the brownies.
Mm.
Teresa, oh man.
Oh yeah, that would be
I
good.
cannot stand. I'm sorry. That is one thing I cannot stand. People say, "Oh, the coffee brings out the flavor of the chocolate." No, it tastes like coffee. I don't care if it's a teaspoon. I don't care if it's a half
She
a
doesn't
teaspoon.
like coffee if you
It
can't figure
tastes
it
like
out.
coffee. You ain't gonna be tricking me with none of that coffee in the chocolate cake business. No, 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 no.
Ah.
I won't fall for it. Leah said ghee is otherwise known as clarified butter. Yes, it's just clarified butter. Donese, do you have any lotions or cream good for older faces? So I just use the Olay, the Walmart brand Olay. That's the cheapy one with the sunscreen. That's all I use.
You got the older face now?
Well, I
confessing to
identify as a
this?
senior now. Wanda, my mom would just drink her coffee hot or cold. She didn't waste it. Yep.
Yeah, I do the same.
Christy says tomato plants like leftover coffee in the grounds to a point. Coffee is really acidic, so don't put too much coffee or too much coffee grounds because you'll kill your tomatoes if you put too much in there. Now you can put it around something like blueberries that likes acid.
I like putting coffee grounds in my compost pile because it gets
and you can
nice
compost
balance.
it.
Yeah.
Mary Beth, hi guys. Life has been tough this year, so happy to catch you now. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
She
glad you
said,
could.
such a treat and escape. Yay.
Oh, thanks.
Tanya, you should do a short on Jill's story about organics. Didn't you just talk about it? She must be watching later.
Oh.
Organic food is score to get money. Yes, it is. Joni says, just put the kids to bed and now I'm kicked back watching you later. Well, thank you. You must be on the East Coast. Goldilocks, your pancake recipe right here is the best you will ever have. They are so fluffy and delicious. Thank you. That is one recipe we changed for this edition. I did not like the original pancake recipe we had in there, so I kept tweaking it, and that's the one that's perfection. Lynn, when will we see your new kitchen? So it will probably be 3 weeks minimum before you see the new kitchen, maybe longer. I'm doing 1, revealing the kitchen, 2, revealing how I'm decorating the kitchen, and 3, how much the kitchen costs. So I'm doing those 3 videos. But I almost blew it.
You started to say what Mike's brilliant idea was.
I came
Here you've
really
hollered
close
at
to
me all
blowing
this
it.
time.
Oh my goodness.
Don't say it. And you
I almost blew it. Ah! If I can make it through the show, I just have to make it through the show. So then I'm doing 2, possibly 3 videos on Mike's brilliant idea. That's how brilliant it is. I'm just going to show my mouth now. Homesteading family. Yes, please do cooking videos. Yeah, I don't know what to do with the cooking videos because I know we sell cookbooks, but we sold so many more cookbooks when I stopped doing cooking videos. So go figure. But now I really can't talk about prepping stuff. I mean, because if I talk about stuff like Target or prepping stuff as far as the banks or what's going on, they're getting to the point now where they're just slowing down people's videos and they're not sharing. The algorithm is not sharing people's videos. And so, to do videos on that, I would sell a ton of cookbooks, but it's very close. Hello, Tam. It's very close.
So Tammy, did you say Tammy? Oh, hi, Tammy.
That they could just knock us off.
We have to be really careful now. We do not have freedom of speech anymore, basically.
Like that whole Target thing. I'm sorry. How is that company even still in business? What, not quite 10 years ago, 8 or 10 years ago, when they were letting mentally ill men use the women's restroom, I stopped shopping there, period. Why is even anyone still shopping there, especially Christians?
I know.
Especially. So I don't even understand why it's a problem.
Boycott everything.
You can't do it.
But there's certain things, there's certain ones that you just really,
why are we just now boycotting them.
Yeah, I know.
Why are we just now
I've
boycotting
wondered
them?
that for years.
This
I
actually
know.
makes me very livid. And I was very disappointed in when famous HGTVers put their product line in that store. I was very disappointed because I'm sorry, as a Christian, I have not been shopping there since they started doing that. I haven't. And so I'm wondering why we're just now doing this. Where have you been? It's kind of like we had an issue with this kind of preference. See, I got to think about what I say here.
Be careful.
So we had an issue with this kind of preference at school. And there was a great big picture. I mean, I did a whole video on this. It's back in the archives, but to help kids decide what preference they want to have, there was a huge poster in the classroom in history class, and the American flag was like this big.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah, when all this was happening. So Mike and I went and we had 4 pastors at our church that had kids in the same class. Out of our 10 people or so in our small group, there was 5 or 6 families that had kids in the same class. We went and talked to every single one, and not one parent of all of those people. We were the only ones who went to the school. And the principal was a Christian, and she said, the problem is no one is standing up saying anything about this, so we can't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? It is darn tootin' too late now.
Yeah, I don't think.
You let it go on. Yeah. You didn't stand up when you should have stood up, and it is just too darn tootin' late now. Mm-hmm. You can keep standing up, and I think that helps, and you should keep fighting it. Yeah. But where were you the last 10 years when they've been priming these kids? Mm-hmm. Why are you parents not paying attention to what they're learning in school? I'm sorry. The fact they allow the kids to be animals in here at our school is absurd. Absolutely absurd. And why are these kids in school? If they're identifying as animals, animals don't go to school. So why are these kids even in school? But it is the parents that's the problem. Yeah. Why are the parents not ripping their kids out of these athletic events? If these mentally ill kids, college kids, high school kids competing in these events with biological girls, first of all, why are biological girls not going to the men's events? You know why? Because there's no darn tootin' way they can win. So you know it's just all about cheating. But if every one of these people, parents, and every one of these college age people would say, no, we are not going to compete against this. We're going to boycott it. It would have stopped immediately. Yeah. Immediately it would have stopped. But no one is standing up to it.
Mm-mm. And it's like Tara said, it really is too late. You shouldn't stop. You shouldn't stop trying. But it's a snowball that started running downhill, and it's not, I don't know if you can stop it or not.
I'm sorry. I have absolutely no sympathy for any of these people competing against these mentally ill people. If you're not going to yank your kids out, or if you as an adult are not going to say, no, I am not going to compete against that, that is cheating.
Mm-hmm. How many people did we already lose, Michael?
You're trying to keep up.
How many we're losing?
You know what? This whole thing with Tarjay, it all started 8 or 10 years ago.
Oh, I remember. And
I have not shopped there since.
And I was so shocked that more people didn't stop going there. I remember that time very well. And I thought, why? I didn't go there. I stopped going there years and years ago. And I'm thinking, so many people do people not know? And why couldn't they know?
Yeah.
I don't watch the news or anything, but I know what's going on in the world. So saying that I didn't know about it is just, I think people are so busy with things in their life, like working so long hours and different things to get more money and stuff like that. They're just oblivious to what's happening in their family a lot of times. It just happens that way.
I don't know. So, I mean, this is the
But
consequences.
even at that, like when you guys went and talked to the other people, they still didn't do anything about it. It really concerns me, the mentality that people are just kind of like, it's almost like they become zombified. They have been just, they're just numb to all of this stuff and aren't, responding to any of it. But
Yep. And when we went and we had the same problem with biology class, and Planned Parenthood was the one that was teaching the biology class, basically. And we went and talked to the teacher, and she said, I'm a Christian. I'm totally with you. But she said, you guys are the only ones who have stood up and said anything. No one will come in and say anything. She said they would stop if parents would complain, and parents are complaining now. But what's happened is the schools have had so much leeway.
Yeah, and so much
that
control now. They've got total power. Yeah.
Until you can get those people off the school board.
It reminds me of, I never could understand during World War II how the Germans allowed Hitler to take over like he did. And the German people were actually encouraging and going along with him. I thought, how did that happen? Put the Jews in the concentration camps. I thought, how did that happen? Now I understand. People just didn't care, and they just didn't do anything about it. Nobody bothered to stand up when it first started. And then finally it got so out of control. Here, the people were, well, how did this happen? Well, you didn't say anything or do anything.
Well, and it's the end times coming true.
It is.
It says it's going to be like in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, the days of Lot, like the days of Noah. So really, I mean, as Christians, first of all, we're not shocked.
No.
I mean, you just sit here and you're like, there's nothing you can do about it now. Like for us, our town only has so many stores. And pretty much all of them have something that is like that now. You can't go to Kroger. You can't go to Walmart. You can't go to Home Depot. You can't go to anywhere now. I mean, and so anyway. All right. Sorry about that, but that's just a little bee in my bonnet there. All right. Denise says people use leftover coffee to make gravy. Oh, gross.
Now that I've
heard
done,
that,
and
but I
that
just
is
can't
good. I
imagine.
have done it before, and that is good. You can't taste the coffee flavor in the gravy.
Yeah.
It's
Amy
just makes
loves
it
our
richer.
cookbooks. Thank you very much.
thank
25% off. And if you want to buy from a real family, like I said, buy a real cookbook from real women with real boobs. That's us. We got it. I'm sorry. Susie, always ask at restaurants and everywhere else if they offer senior or military discounts. Mom is so excited to get her free.
I get free drink at Wendy's now. Well, I think I could have been getting it for the past 10 years or so, but I never went to Wendy's hardly. And now I've got a little extra money, so I can go once in a while. And it was kind of exciting.
Wendy and Tanya say they can't wait to see the kitchen. And Mike's brilliant idea that I almost blew. Terry says, my chiropractor suggested I drink 8 glasses of water for my muscle pain. It really works. Oh, I wonder if that's my problem. I've been pretty much drinking nothing but tea lately.
Yeah, but you used to drink a lot of water.
I know,
and
but but I've been on my diet. If I stay on my diet
and drink the water, you're thinking?
I wonder if I should switch to more water. I've been trying to quiet my nerves with the tea. It's not working, as you can tell.
Well, if you get your kitchen fixed, get rid of Mike and the boys, and then go up into the mountains, you'll be fixed, wouldn't she, Michael?
Let's see. All right. Can you send me the next one, dear?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Melinda says, wait until it happens to you. I had a man come into the women's bathroom with my granddaughter. He did use a stall, but other women, I told him to get out. He didn't leave, and I left without using it. Oh, I'm afraid I would end up in jail for standing in the bathroom door, throwing a fit. Now, I would never hurt these people, but we need to stand up and say, no, you're not doing this. It's ridiculous. Oh, good grief.
Well, part of it, too, that's among other things that's so bad is they're willing for them to be comfortable to hurt somebody else. but they
Yeah.
don't want to hurt them, that doesn't make even sense to me. You're
Yeah.
willing to hurt somebody else so somebody else won't be hurt. How does that
Yeah.
balance out? That doesn't.
I know. And Nancy says, let's get back to mom and pop businesses. The problem is you can't really.
Yeah.
It's just not possible to only shop at mom and pop businesses. And even the mom and pop businesses, they get, like, let's say an appliance store, they get their appliances from places that have all these ridiculous green things going on.
Yeah.
So anyway, so okay.
You got it, Claire.
We're back to Claire again.
You got it.
He or she says, ha, my goodness. Their name is Eclair Trio. My name. Well, there you go. I've never heard of that name before. You must be not in the United States or not from here, but what a cool name. Okay.
Yeah,
I will now know it's Eclair Trio.
As a matter of fact, I like that name, but my stomach's growling listening to her say it over and over again.
Okay. Amy says just made meatloaf yesterday and had leftovers for supper tonight. Very good. She only makes meatloaf out of our book. Thank you. Daryl says put the ribs and potato in the crock pot, not the microwave for 6 hours. We were kind of wondering.
Yes, that would be very good.
Time to start looking up says, yeah, that's amen, sister. Tomorrow's Thursday. You say greetings from tomorrow. There you go. Oh, they're in Japan. Very good. Oh, it's a Thursday morning already. And let's see. Yeah, it would be Thursday morning in Japan, wouldn't it? Fireflies and thimbles, busy prepping to hold a yard sale Saturday. Very good. Wow. I got invited to a yard sale in Cheyenne. I almost thought
I
about.
I didn't know you people get invited to a garage sale.
So, well, I didn't either, but they invited me to a garage sale in Cheyenne. So I thought we should just drive down and surprise them, but I got too much to do. So I'm not going to drive down and surprise you. But
that would be fun.
Wanda saw a video where the ladies at the Dollar Tree in North Carolina had itty bitty gnomes. Oh, how cute. TV Junkie says, God question. My mom has been under stress a lot. During church, she stopped moving, blacked out, and said she could see God. He walked up and didn't and said, don't worry, it'll be okay. Do you think that was God? Probably not. Just because God says no one has looked on his face.
Yeah. Moses couldn't even in the Bible look on his face.
So I would say probably not.
Yeah.
But, well, there's no but to it. I mean, probably not, because the Bible is very specific that we are not to see the face of God. So, because he's so glorious that we just can't handle we couldn't handle it. Okay. Well, and even Moses turned gray, didn't he? Just from having him pass by, I think.
Yeah.
He was just glowing.
Was he glowing?
He wasn't even looking at him. Yeah.
So, Susie says, I'd be 500 pounds if I ate all the goodies in my cookbooks. Thank you. Pat says, haven't gone out to eat since that thing going around hit. We can't afford it. No debt. We can't afford it. No debt. Very healthy savings, retirement, plus investments. Yep.
Very good.
Wanda, years ago, I made breakfast sausage by buying marked down ground pork and following the recipe for sausage in my canning book. Yeah, if you need a good sausage recipe, Dining on a Dime Volume 1 has a really super
easy.
good. Yep.
And it is good.
And Jeanette says, I made meatloaf last week. My brother said, OMG, it's so good. Hey. Barbara says, Volume 1, using Volume 1 to teach her 9-year-old granddaughter to cook. Very good. Mm-hmm. Patricia says, I hold all my scraps of bread in the freezer and make stuffing. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Connie, you can also spread butter and garlic powder, salt, leftover buns, bake them. Yummy garlic bread made with bun. Yep, very delicious. Also, croutons, Teresa says, yes. Mm-hmm. Volume 1, we have croutons also. Denise says, my mom used to make Parisian rolls. Had tomato sauce, boiled egg, diced up cheese, green chili, spread on a hot dog roll, toasted in the oven. Okay?
Oh, that would be.
That's a new one.
Yeah, but that'd be good.
Sally says... She can't get enough of us. No common sense. Sorry. I know. Common sense ain't common anymore.
I know.
There are some days I'm just like, I don't know what planet you're on, but we're not on the same planet.
How can they even get up and function for a whole day? Sometimes I wonder, how can they can't even get themselves dressed sometimes, let alone, or feed themselves. And I mean, it's really sad. These people really can't think quite straight because I feel sorry for him. Why are we laughing? I'm trying to be serious.
I'm not saying anything. I'm closing my mouth. I'm closing my mouth. Sarah, I never knew about being able to use sour milk in baking. I've wasted so much milk. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. A lot of people don't know that, so don't feel bad. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know you can use sour milk in baking. Bounty it's the bacteria that grows in the sour milk that helps ferment in the fermentation problem helps things like the fermentation process helps like pancakes get fluffier, cakes get fluffier, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's why. Bounty in the Badlands, I thoroughly dry. What's funny is people will make things like kombucha and they'll buy kombucha from the store, but they won't use sour milk for baking. Doesn't make sense. Bounty in the Badlands, I thoroughly dry out my stale bread and run it through the food processor for breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs, yes.
Uh-huh.
Because breadcrumbs can get expensive.
Oh, yeah. She said $4.99 a bag for them at
Mhm.
Christmas. Robbery. I agree.
Yeah.
Mary, I buy a loose popcorn, put it in a paper bag, and microwave it for 3 minutes. There you go.
Mm.
Jeannie says I make garlic toast with stale buns. Yep. And Donna made the bran muffins. Oh my goodness. Okay. Being gluten-free, I can say the Amish bran muffins in here. That is one thing I'll really miss. They are so super good. Pamela used the heels to make overnight French toast. That's in volume 2.
Mhm.
Yes. Mary says, every time I think about organic food, I think about I think about what the fertilizer is, and I usually change my mind. I know.
Mhm.
I know. You get E. coli from this stuff, people.
Yeah.
It is poop.
Who was it I just heard the other day had E. coli? Who was telling us that? That somebody had gotten E. coli with something.
Nee says, my son has autism, Down syndrome, and is a runner. He could qualify for a service dog. It makes me so mad that people go online and register their pets for emotional supports and they are not trained. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. That makes me furious.
Because like we said, the people that really need this
'em.
stuff, they...
Deborah, what gets me is the size of the animals or the size of horses. I know. And they're fighting. They're service animals. They're not service animals because they're fighting with other animals.
Mhm.
They don't just walk quietly next to their owner.
Yeah.
They're jumping all over the place. They're running out in front and all over the place. Those are not you can tell it right away. You can
Service
tell it
animals
is not
are
a service
very
animal.
well trained. Yeah.
Makes me so mad. Lisa, agree. Only actual service animals should be in the stores. Yeah. Man, what other rants can I go on today? Donnice, we have people who just try to do anything now. Bring all kinds of dogs into the store unless they have something to say they need the dog should be told to leave. Yeah, I know.
Mhm. Well, it's like I said a couple of videos ago, this woman brought her cat in. I thought, that poor cat. And that kind of makes me upset because people say, oh, I love my animals. I love my cat. I love my dog so much. And yet they bring him into a grocery store. And that cat was making that horrible screaming noise that they make when they're taking them to the vet in their cage, So the cat was not enjoying herself. How can you do that to somebody you love and do that type of thing?
Nancy says gluten-free, dairy-free book has been such a help. Thank you. She loves volume 1 and 2, but it has also helped also. Yes. And Hi Barry says, do you recommend anything for freezing carrots and celery? It's not the same when you thaw them. There are some foods that will not come the same. So you have to use them in soups and stews. You're not going to be able to use it for salad.
Yeah.
So yeah. And Eclair Trio says fish tacos are an old Sonoran custom. Sonoran. What country is that?
Sonora is that part of Mexico.
Mexico.
Well, yeah, Mexico.
Part of Mexico? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Don't you
Well,
remember
there you go.
old Sonora?
Well, yeah, but I didn't know what that was. I thought it was like a town or a fort or something. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I don't know my geography. Sandy loves fish tacos. Wendy says no fish tacos for her. And Claire says fish tacos are delicious, as are shrimp tacos. Oh my goodness.
No wonder we stay confused all the time, huh?
Yeah. Brooke says, I live right near the ocean in Nova Scotia, Canada, and fresh fish or seafood costs more here than the rest of the land.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my goodness.
That's sometimes true, though,
Yeah.
Really, because beef, you think beef and wheat would be cheaper, wheat products would be cheaper in Kansas, but it's not at all.
Wanda says, why is German potato salad served warm? I guess the Germans like it warm. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea. Okay, everybody's going back and forth on whether they like fish tacos or not. All right.
Great debate on fish tacos.
Connie says, we live in Louisiana. Bottom of the boat. People come down here from other states to get fish and seafood from us. Yep. Donnie says, when growing up, we had fish man who brought fish around to us every Thursday when the fish were biting. Wow, that's funny. Fish delivery. There you go. Kathy says her son bought the new cookbooks for Mother's Day. 25% off right now, guys. I am so glad he got them for you.
Oh.
Lisa, do the books contain nutritional information? No, they do not. But we've had tons of diabetics say that they use it all the time. So I'm on a diabetic diet. I use it all the time. So Leah, I make wedges at home with our sour cream and
Wedges.
What are wedges? Oh,
potato
potato wedges
wedges.
at home
She's
with
from
sour
Australia.
cream and chili sauce. Oh, that would be yummy.
Those chunky. Like,
Yeah.
deep-fried
Yeah.
wedges.
Okay, let's
With sour
see.
cream and what?
Chili sauce.
Ooh, that would be really good. Yeah.
Yep, that would be really good. Okay, let me see. All right. I think we're gonna stop on the questions here. Let me just finish on the ones that we have, unless there's something
I
important.
have a huge batch of number 6.
Okay, well, send me number 6, and then we'll be done with number 6. Goldilocks says, Tara, whatever pancake tweaks we made were perfect. Thank you. I'm so glad. Time to look up says, any gardening videos in the future? No, we won't be doing gardening videos. They don't do good on our channel. Esther, I'm so sad to say that I was just able to log on and been missing most of the lives. Well, yay. Welcome
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Good job getting a part-time job, though. What kind of kitchen equipment do you need to do your recipes? I'm just starting cooking and use guidance with what you really need. Nothing.
Nothing.
I mean,
have
a
no-
mixer, bowl, spoon, measuring cup.
I have a little
measuring
hand
spoons.
mixer. I've never used a big KitchenAid or anything like that. I have no crock pot. I have no Instapot. I have nothing but just a couple of little pans and some mixing bowls, and you really don't even need a hand mixer. It's a little bit harder to mix the stuff. It takes a little more time, but you can still do it, without.
Oh, you can set up a kitchen with $25 easy, probably $5 from the thrift store.
Yeah.
So. Bethany, teachers at school. Well, actually, I should do a video on that.
I was going to say
Setting
that
up
would
your
be a good
kitchen
one.
with thrift
Yeah.
store deals. Bethany, teachers at school don't want it, but they can't say anything else. If the parents want it, we have to accept it. I know.
Yeah,
I totally
it's not
get
the
it. I
teacher's
totally get it.
fault. Yeah, they're really caught between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. Sabrina. Oh, that's too funny. I just got a notice on a cookbook sale flashed up, and it said Sabrina, and then Sabrina says, "I just bought the cookbook. I just got your notice for the order." Very good. Okay, thank you for ordering. Susan says thrift store sales are way up while the big box store sales are down. Yep. And cars. Oh my goodness. 2 years ago when we moved here, you could not find a car on a car lot. I drove back. We took some furniture to Mom's today. The car lot by your house, there had to have been 100 cars in that lot.
I know.
I was like, yes, now we can go get a car. So, because we've been waiting for, and what's happening is people can't afford the car payments, so they're getting repossessed.
They're getting repossessed.
This is why you don't have car payments. People.
Yeah.
Nancy, we shop at family-owned grocery stores most of the time. Yeah, but those are very hard to find. Mama says, just wanted to tell you, Wichita has a nice airplane museum. Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah. Wichita does
they
have
do.
a good museum.
They did not have time to go to the zoo for the 18th time. How many times can you go to Cowtown and the zoo? It's like, I know. Emmanuel says, sleepy time and chamomile is a good nerve tea. I know. Wanda, poor Jill needs some food. Yes. Nancy, citywide garage sales this weekend where I live. That's great. Those are the best. Sabrina, exactly. That's why I'm so happy I found this channel. Hard to find people who still think today.
What did you say? Because Cousin Tammy says, I feel called out on that.
Oh, car payments.
Oh, car payments. Oh, Tammy.
Sorry, Tam. I love you. My favorite cuz, my favorite baby cuz. I love you, but. Darlene, I made meatballs from your meatloaf recipe. Yummy. All gone. Very good. That's my grandma's. Everyone agrees with us. Thank you, guys. The problem is nobody's standing up to this baloney. And now it's too late. It really is. And it's to the point now where you can boycott all you want, and that's fine. And I think you should what you can.
You can do what you can, but not sure it's going to.
There's really, if you go down the supply chain, there's something somewhere along the way that you're supporting that is wrong. So,
It's like a hole in the dam, just a little tiny hole. If you fix it right away, you're okay. But that hole has been there too long now, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and you just almost can't stop it at that point.
Yeah. Melinda, I have a friend who wouldn't buy or eat sour cream because she said it was spoiled. Well, it's a little sour. What do you
Sour
expect?
cream.
Catherine says, what age do you have to be to get senior discount at Walmart? Ours doesn't have a senior discount, so I don't know. You just have to ask.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And, you know, if you are a senior, be sure to ask when you go someplace new or whatever, and ask them, and they'll let you know.
Yeah. And Lisa says, I like your rinse charm with you. And then somebody else said, well, let's get out of politics and just go back to cooking. Listen, first of all, it's my channel. If you don't like it, just leave. If someone is holding you down, making you watch, please call the police. But we have people who do not agree with our politics, and we are still friends, and we still like him, and it's okay. But it's still my channel. Secondly, I do that sometimes, occasionally, because people need to know they're not alone and they are not losing their minds.
Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about it. Let's talk about the comfortable subjects and the
when they go to school and you're sitting there and you're the only parent who's standing up to this stuff. We have been going to the school for 20 years. Literally every single year, we have gone to the school to fight over this stuff. Since our first started kindergarten 20 years ago. And we were the only parents.
Yeah.
We were the only parents.
See, everybody wants to just keep it, you know, pleasant and kind of, you know, nice. And we don't talk. Nobody talks about this and is honest about this. You're just kind of supposed to float along on all this. And that's why we're in the shape we're in now, because that's what everybody's been doing.
And even, I mean, we even drove at one point, we were driving 5 kids to school, spending between my husband's son and I, 7.5 hours a day to get our kids in charter school, then my niece, 7.5 hours a day. And even the charter school at that time, I was having to argue with the school over the pornography that they were calling art. It is not art. Naked women and naked men is not art, period. I don't care what you want to call it.
I always wondered about that.
No 8th and 9th grader should be looking at that stuff. No high schooler should be looking at that stuff, period.
Well, there's enough.
Nobody should be watching the Romeo and Juliet film where she's half naked.
Well, there's enough good art. Not that that's maybe not good art, but there's enough art that doesn't have that in it that you can use for an example. You see what I mean?
I know. And so part of the reason why is because other people need to know they're not losing their mind, and it's okay to stand up, and you should stand up.
Mm-hmm.
If those mentally ill men came into the restroom while I was there, I guarantee you I would stand up, start filming, and stand up and make it be known what a fool they're making of themselves. And it's wrong. And I'd probably end up in jail because I'm the one standing up saying you can't come in here.
Yeah.
You know, these people are mentally ill. You don't treat them badly. But at the same time, you don't let them treat you badly. You stand up for yourself. And we wonder why there's so much abuse now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it upsets me too, because they do have problems and people aren't taking care of the problems. They're just making it worse by the things they're doing, you know, and that's not right.
Why is the suicide rate like something like 60%
Exactly.
or something with these people?
Exactly.
Because they know that it's not right and they need help.
They need help. And nobody,
Instead of
everybody's
going
encouraged
along with their
them to
fantasy.
keep doing the stuff they're doing, which is making it worse.
Instead of mutilating children. It's ridiculous. Wendy, I love the DIY moisturizing cream in volume 1.
Talking about going from
All my friends love it. Making a new batch this evening. Thank you.
You do get variety here, that's for sure. Huh?
How do we feel about the Jesus Calling book? I have never heard of that, so I don't know what it is. But probably if you have to ask me, then I probably don't agree with it. Let's see.
You know, use your discernment, guys. Start practicing your discernment. And if something just doesn't feel quite right or seem quite right, just stay away from it.
Yeah.
It's kind of frightens me because it says in the end times, people are going to be so deceived and not be able. You need to use discernment because things are going to be so you're not sure of. And if it's just the least little thing, back away from it.
Yeah.
You don't need these things in your life necessarily.
Read the Bible.
Yeah.
Tracy says, did our player pianos play the entertainer?
Yeah.
Over and over and over. Was it my brother? I think my brother loved
Probably,
that song.
yeah.
Over and over and over. We heard it all the time. That's the one. Da, 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 da. That's the one, right? That's the entertainer, I think. Da, 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 da. That was it, right? That was the
Yeah.
entertainer. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
not actually an old one. That was they made it for the movie that what was that movie in the 70s with
Sundance,
Redford and
Sundance or something, and
no, it was
oh, it was about during the 20s or something, wasn't it? I never saw it, but
it was the Sting.
The Sting, yeah.
Oh no, actually it says it was Scott Joplin, so never mind.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh boy. All right, I'm going to answer this because it's getting worse, but Carrie says you've mentioned you don't agree with the series The Chosen. Why? Okay, I'm going to be delicate here because I know that people, no, I'm not going to be delicate. I can't be delicate. Tact is not my spiritual gift. I try to be tactful, but it's not. But let me just say, The Chosen, to be using The Chosen as an evangelizing tool, I do not agree with 100%. They are taking things out of the Bible, out of context. Jesus was not a mere human. Jesus did not do things like look shocked when he turned the water into wine. He didn't practice the Sermon on the Mount, asking opinions on the Sermon on the Mount. The biggest problem I have with it right now, first of all, I know a lot of insider stuff on the show that most people don't know. I personally know one of the producers, a very nice man, very, very nice. And he has helped us with our business 1,000 times. But I will say he is Mormon and he does finance. He's the one behind the finances of the show. And I do not believe that consulting Catholics for reference on how to produce the show is correct. I do not believe that that goes with what the Bible says on how we are to get to heaven. Yes, Mike's ducking. But the biggest problem I have right now is them creating a series of advertising where Satan is promoting The Chosen. Mm-hmm. And it's a series, what's it called? Let me look it up. Let's see. Oh, shoot. What was it called? It's called, shoot. Oh, here. So it's an ad series. Stop watching The Chosen. The Chosen is not good. Go watch The Chosen is not good. Well, I really don't want you to watch it. But if you don't believe me, go watch The Chosen is Not Good YouTube channel. It is an advertising campaign created to promote The Chosen to younger generations. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to use Satan to promote the gospel, that is not the gospel. Mm-hmm. Period.
I was so angry when I saw this. They were mocking Jesus, basically, having Satan mock him. What kind of a Christian show does that? I mean, I don't care if everything else was perfect about the show. I would not watch it just for that one thing. And you know what I'm kind of concerned about when I was just talking a little bit ago about people will be easily deceived in the end times. The Grammys had this thing where
Yeah.
the Satan thing, you know, where the guy was singing this horrible song. He was dressed as
Women
Satan, and the women were
in cages,
yeah, and
half naked.
They were nailing down to the Satan guy. Everybody who's a Christian looked at that and thought, oh, that's horrible. You know, most people who are Christians reacted that way. That was really bad. But nobody's hardly reacting to the Chosen doing almost the same thing in their commercials with
Satan mocking
with
Jesus.
Satan mocking Jesus, and the demons are twisting around the Satan in the same type of commercial. Okay.
Yet they're promoting that.
Yeah, the Chosen is promoting that and showing that. Now that shows me we can see those very obvious things that are wrong, or like the guys coming into the ladies' restroom. All these things we got our eyes focused on that. But where you become deceived is when you take something that's really the truth and you twist it just a little bit. It's not a total lie, but some little untruths are in there. And that's when people get deceived. And that's why I'm scared of the Chosen, because I see so many Christians are being kind of deceived by this.
Especially the producers.
They see the same type of commercial that was at the Grammys, but they think this show is acceptable, even though they're showing commercials like that. And, you know, I find it very interesting. That concerns me is I've heard like, is it 3 or 4 pastors now who have talked about, well, they think it's the Chosen is probably okay. They're hesitant when they say it. This is a alarm bell going off.
Well, we take a middle ground. There is no middle ground.
That's when the alarm bells goes up. Well, we think this is okay, but you know what? This thing went off in my head. Every single one of the 4 that I heard, they said, my wife was watching it in the evening, so I would just go in on the couch and sit with her and watch. 4 of them said that. They said their wife liked it, or their wife this. And you know what went off in my head? I thought, this sounds like Genesis with Adam and Eve. When Adam said, the woman, you know, the woman was the one. And I'm thinking, this is creepy. I got goosebumps when I thought about that. To have these men saying, my wife was
the show is
watching
geared towards women. I know the demographic. I have seen the numbers. The demographic is middle-aged women.
And another thing, the third thing too, is when we're going to get comments now after talking about this with arguing how good it is, and arguing and making excuses how wonderful this is and how this is evangelizing so many people and it's doing this. And, you know, this is a good reason why you should be watching this and argue, make long paragraphs of comments is what we're going to get, these big, huge paragraphs. And do you know, I am so secure in my faith. I am so secure in the Bible. I am so secure in Jesus that I know that's in my heart. I don't have to make excuses to anybody for what I believe. I would never go on any place when somebody says, well, no, it's Jesus is this and this. I don't go online on a YouTube channel and write paragraphs saying, well, justifying myself.
And the Chosen social media team is doing that to YouTubers who are going against them. Even little itty bitty, Mom and I were watching this one gal. She had like 200 subscribers and she said something about it. And they kept going on and harassing her, paragraphs and paragraphs. Listen, if you are that sure that your show is 100% biblically on track, we should be promoting, this is the way we should be promoting Jesus. Why are you needing to go to this little tiny YouTuber and harass her?
Trying to destroy her.
Over and over and over.
There's something wrong here that's not quite, it's in the background. It's like that deceptive type thing. There's something not quite right. And if you are having to ask, should I watch it? Or what about it? That should be an alarm bell right there. I know right away, I didn't go see the Passion movie. Now, there's nothing wrong with if you went. Tara went and saw it. Mike went and saw it.
But I wouldn't go see it again.
There was nothing wrong with going to see it. But I pulled back because I have trouble with a lot of movies and a lot of things like this that try to portray Christ's life. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad I didn't go. But besides that, Why would I want to watch a movie that shows somebody I love so much being tortured and killed? Now, what kind of person wants to see somebody they love up on the big screen being hurt? There's something wrong with that to me. But if you're trying to, if you're asking the question, should I? Then that's a no. That anytime for anything you go, any type of sin, if you're going, should I go into this bar on Friday night with all these friends that I know are going to get drunk? Should I do that? If you're saying that, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Whenever you have a thing, should I, you step back and you stop and you really pray. You really pray. And God will let you know, ask him to let you know and give you peace about it.
Yep. And I'm sorry, but any show that uses Satan
Oh,
as
I
an
was-
advertising campaign and then says we're making Jesus look human, Jesus was not even close to being human.
well, what I can't understand, when
That's
they
not
let
okay.
Satan mock
Yeah.
Jesus, how can you sit and watch something that mocks my Lord and my Savior
Yep.
that died for you? How can you watch that? Something that lets him get mocked
Yep.
or make him inferior, like he's just a regular old person.
Yep.
He did too much for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He did too much for me.
Yep.
For me to watch a show that make him belittles
Makes fun of him and belittles him. Yeah. So if you guys need a Bible to read the gospel yourself, we give them for free. livingonadime.com, go to the shop, click on free Bible. We will not contact you unless you have a question. You're welcome. If you have Bible questions, we always answer Bible questions. If you have one, just email it to us. But go read the Bible for yourself. You will see the differences between the show and what the Bible says, and it will disturb you. If you are, anyway, it will disturb you. But read the Bible for yourself. You can see where things are not correct. And for anything in your faith, just go back to the Bible and read what the Bible says.
Well, one more thing. I know I shouldn't keep going on, but they even say they aren't doing everything true to the Bible.
It's
They
plausible.
say that.
Yeah,
that
it's plausible.
Yeah, they're saying they're not doing it's true to the Bible. So what is another problem with this is it contradicts stuff in the Bible that causes confusion. You say people are getting saved and this is wonderful and they're starting to learn. They go into their salvation then with a confused mind. How can you learn one thing on this show and then you read the Bible and it says something else? Isn't that causing confusion? Satan is the author of confusion. Whenever something's chaotic or confusing, it's Satan.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, on that happy note,
we
but guys,
we
this
really
is
hit
our
them
platform, and if we can reach some people, the only way to get to heaven is to know that you are a sinner. Christ died for your sin. He rose again, and that if you give your life over to him, you will go to heaven. There are no works at all that can get you into heaven. You do not pray to anyone. You do not give money to anyone. You do not do good things for anyone. Doing no amount of good works will get you into heaven. It is only calling on the name of the Lord Jesus, knowing that he died for you because you are a sinner. We are all sinners. There is not one human on this earth except Jesus Christ that is not a sinner, and he died for all of us, even these mentally ill people. That's why we need to pray for them. Doesn't mean we don't stand up for what's right, but we need to pray for them, because really Jesus is the only way that they will be freed from this trauma and bondage that has caused them to be this way. And believe me, I have dealt with these people a lot. I know we have had lots of friends this way, and there is always some sort of very, very sad trauma that has caused this sort of thing to happen. And you have to feel sorry for these people, but you still stand up for what's right. But Jesus is the only thing that's going to save them. So anyway, please go. If you need a Bible, livingonadime.com, go to the Bibles or go to Free Bible and we will send you one and we won't harass you. If you want to send us questions, we are happy, editor at livingonadime.com, to answer your questions. And we won't harass you or anything. We get that all the time. The people asking us questions, because we can't do them all on the show. livingonadime.com. We will see you guys next time. Check out our cookbooks, 25% off right now.
Bye-bye, guys. We love you.